Universal Colony, year 118. A time where the endless wealth of history continues unabated. Let us go back 1 year to the UCY 117. The Empire of Thalos declares war upon all neighboring star systems, and dozens of space and planetary colonies within them. The Empire's military power is at equal strength with each government they are at war with, so they are caught in a stalemate. However, halfway into the UCY 117, Empire acquired a new weapon whose name would be heard throughout the future: mobile suits. These new devices smash through any and all resistance. The Empire now controls more than 95% of the area. We now return to the UCY 118. 5 Gundams have been sent to free the colonies, and have now split up. The transport pilot was tall, wearing a tan uniform with a few symbols on it, identifying him as an official pilot of the Empire of Thalos. The pilot flipped through the $1 bills in his hands, counting them quickly. He smiled and slipped money into his back pocket.
Alright, I'll slip your suit on board. Hell, just the idea of this is fun. Not most teenagers end up to be mobile suit pilots, much less insurrectionist mobile suit pilots.
Iron smiled at the man, took the cigarette out of his mouth, and exhaled the smoke.
I'm sure you see your fair share of different people in your business. You see the dance this type of bribery often. I smuggle all sorts of stuff for the right price. You just happen to have the right price. Good. Now get the suit on board, and you'll get the rest of your money.
Mariana's red hair looked scorched and unclean as he kicked open the palace gates. Several soldiers at her side. Her teeth gritted. One of her assistants walked up alongside her. Your Eminence, are you... Mariana took a gun from the holster of one of her guards and shot the assistant in the leg. The assistant, a woman in her late 20s, collapsed to the ground, holding her bleeding leg and screaming in pain. No, I am not! Mariana tossed the gun aside and continued to walk through her palace. Everyone cleared the way for her and tried not to talk or interact with her.
Oh my god, this is an evil Haman!
Mariana walked down several flights of stairs, and one of the guards placed a rope on top of her. Mariana stepped in without shooting the guard. As he saw another assistant, the assistant gulped and bowed down before Mariana. I want you to prepare my personal transport at once. Send a message to Clark Oxum and tell him to expect my arrival, appointment or not. Transport's pilot smiled and began Imeon's communication circuit.
With the bounty out of Gundam pilots, I could get double the amount of money that kid to pay me to transport this thing. What an idiot.
All of a sudden, the pilot felt something poking in his head. He looked at the reflective glass behind him. He saw a smiling arm behind him, gun pointing at his head.
Really? I was about to say the same thing about you. You won't get away with this. The Empress will hunt you down and personally kill you. Hey, not. I already left anonymous tips with certain Thalonian peacekeeping forces about your activities assisting rebels. Now, since I can't have you get in my way...
Aram slammed the handle of the gun to the back of the pilot's head. He immediately grabbed it in pain.
Oh, what was that for? Well, usually works in the movies. Tell you what, I'll just hit it harder.
Aram grabbed the man by the back of his hair and slammed his head forward to the main console. The impact rendered him unconscious.
And there we go.
Aram proceeded to drag the pilot from his seat into the nearby escape pod of the cockpit of the transport. A bulkhead came down in front of the cockpit escape pod door as the arrow launched it out. He grinned as he saw the pod tumble off into space, and Aram set down the controls of the ship. He immediately changed course, steadied the vessel on a path headed out for the ring around Thalos.
Repair, could you please display all information concerning the ring around Thalos?
Text messages and visual appears on the monitor as the audio spoke. The ring around Thalos is comprised of asteroids and former comets that were pulled out of their standard gravitational movement and entered Thalos orbit. The asteroids and comets are composed of ice, the debris, diamond, beryl.
Buzz, did you say diamond?
Affirmative. The diamond is in low qualities, but it is enough to construct the armor shielding for at least one mobile suit.
So whatever the Thalosian government taking advantage of that?
The government's power is to exploit resources and second only to the Empress Maria Dels. So he has given strict orders to not mine any diamond in the ring.
Why?
Unknown.
Computer, where's the largest concentration of the diamond?
On the southern edge of the ring, located at the largest deposit of ice, snow, and frozen gases.
Change course and head for that destination.
Are you okay? Yeah, it's just that that's probably the second hardest voice I get to do. Ah, of course we all know about the don't we? Yes. Clark Axel was not someone that could be considered a very handsome or appealing man. He was a short, skinny man, hunched over somewhat on his back, like he was planning something evil. He was a balding little, and he wore an engineer's uniform. He was grinning evilly, smiled at the Sessions display console that indicated a vessel had just docked to the space station he was upon. The space station he was on was huge, larger than a dozen Pegasus-class vessels raced next to one another. The metals it was made out of were dark blue, and mostly made of an assortment of domes. Within the domes, hundreds of individual mobile suit classes were there to be introduced to anyone willing to pay the right price for them. Again, if you people have ever seen Lagaim, this is sounding familiar. I mean, if he turns out to actually be a handsome man in disguise and actually is a badass pilot and he's pure evil, I'm gonna laugh. Axum, let me in! The door slowly slid open, revealing Clark Axel standing with a smile on his face in front of Mariana. Hello, my lady. What can I do for you today? Mariana stormed inside, 5 of her personal guards beside her. All of them carried high-powered air-Z rifles. Clark did not seem the least bit frightened of them. When I purchased certain mobile suits from you, I was under the impression you would be selling these devices only to me, and not resistance movers that hound me at every turn. And I was under the impression you would continue to purchase mobile suits from me for many, many years. However, you took it upon yourself to mass-produce basic and medium-level mobile suits based off of the mobile suits I originally sold you. Now, you only do business with me when it comes to the new models that you want, or mega materials you can't mass-produce. I build what I want when I want. Our contract did not stipulate I couldn't create on my own. I also didn't say I couldn't sell my products to other people. So you just play both sides against the middle? I know, I sell whoever's ready to buy. You're aiding and abetting tennis. The penalty for those crimes is death. So you're going to execute me? Yes! Clark smiled and closed his eyes. I think not. Metallic tendrils came down from the ceiling and wrapped themselves around Mariana. The guards raised their guns up and pulled the triggers, but there was no effect. Air-Z fields erupted in front of and behind the guards, trapping them. Mariana struggled uselessly against the tendrils, and Clark walked up to a few inches in front of her. My station defends me. No weapons will work in this place. Out in space, you might run the show. However, on this station, I am good. I like you, Empress. You're a happy customer, and happy customers are returning customers. However, if you continue believing that you can overturn my operations here, well, you'd be wrong. I won't hesitate to kill you if it protects my life. It's a buyer's market. It's about time you heard and learned that. The hatch on the back of the transport ship opened up, and Arsenal slid out of it. Within it, Arm checked the scanners and began detecting air-Z readings from his port side. Arsenal turned to port and initiated its new engines designed to allow it to effectively fight space combat. Arm shielded his eyes as he realized that Dallas' fourth moon was in visible sight, reflecting light onto his Gundam. Arsenal hid behind a large chunk of ice, obscuring 8 scanners on the other side, began monitoring communications on the other side of ice. Armed with nuclear weapons more dangerous than it's worth? Since the Emperor abolished the Tico Treaty that prohibits nuclear weapons, we now use any weapon in our capability. And the GP-02 Gundam seems like a very fitting weapon. Especially against the colonial resistance. And the other one? Oh, baby! The GX-9900? Armed with a special weapon known as a satellite cannon. We set up a special station for it on the fourth moon. We should be coming into communication range now and activate the system and test it out with the GPO-2. Okay, I don't need to be described what the GX Gundam is. It's my baby. It's this X Gundam. Probably my third or fourth favorite, one of my favorite Gundams in the entire franchise. Satellite cannons armed with twin beam sabers. Oh, its destructive power is only second to the Wing Zero. Then again, I wonder if it's stronger than the Wing Zero, because the Wing Zero, when it fires its double buster rifle at full power, it can only last a few shots. The Double X, it fires its satellite cannon, it walks away and goes, I feel fine. Right, contacting station. Iron raised an eyebrow, wanting to see what was happening on the other side of the ice. But he knew if he tried to move around it, he'd be detected immediately. And wait a minute! Did Likar once fan subs of Gundam X? Because I have it on record, he wrote this in middle school. At the time of middle school, because he's only 1 year younger than me, Gundam X was not available on streaming. The only series that were available to us were Gundam Wing, the OG, 8th Mobile Suit Team, Zeta, and I'm still regretting never buying that box set of Zeta, and G Gundam. That's it. Gundam X didn't even come out on DVD until recently. So either that, or he found out about it on the forums. Well, hey, I'm okay. Just as long as I don't see the model system turn A99. You Gundam fans got that reference. Arm raised an eyebrow, wanting to see what's happening on the other end of the ice. He knew if he tried to move around it, he'd be detected immediately. All of a sudden, there was a bright flash of light around the ice chunk. First, Arm thought that the weapon was being tested on the ice. He was shielding himself behind. When he saw smoldering debris float past the ice, he knew that to be wrong. You know, I could actually see Likara liking Garrett's character. I mean, I know we do. Wow, it blew that thing apart in one shot. Yep, I think we could forego the use of nuclear weapons on something like this. Is this gonna be what leads to Turn A's into Gundam X's story? Arm her not. A weapon like that could seriously put himself and Gundams at risk. So he immediately began assembling his main beam cannon to take out the Gundam X in one shot. Will our Master be upset that we destroyed the GPO-2? I think he'll be pleased we discovered a weapon more powerful than it. Now let's... Hang on! I'm picking up something! It's a... The voice got no further as Arsenal fired his beam cannon, intending to hit the chest, but instead wanted the black solar fans. The fan immediately broke off with the airsy blast. It's a Gundam! It's a Gundam!
There's a Gundam down here!
Sorry, habit. Arm growled and made Arsenal pull out a machine gun from behind it, abandoning its airsy cannon. Arsenal unloaded the bullets at the GX-9900, who was in a panic. The main cameras were crushed with a projectile, and Arsenal's bullets penetrated its core. Immediately reversed its thrusters and got behind the ice chunk as the Gundam X exploded. No! My baby! I'm okay with the destruction of the Gundam from the Stardust memory. Too bulky. Well, don't give me that, folks. Have you seen both models for Stardust memory? I mean, one of them is so bulky, I'm surprised it doesn't tip over with shoulder cannons. And the other one, when it's fully armored, looks ridiculous. Give me the Crossbone Gundam any day. Far less bulky, less ridiculous, and it's a pirate. I swear, at the first opportunity I get, I'm going to vaporize that space station! Mariana was on a weekly tour to training camps of new soldiers in the Empire. She came there straight from Clark Axel's space station after a hasty retreat. Actually, we could try that GPO-2 model that recently acquired for him. A bit of irony in that. One of the weapons we purchased from him to destroy him.
Unfortunately, Your Highness, seems that both of the new Gundam models we recently purchased were destroyed by one of the colony resistance Gundams.
Well, to see the Gundam X kicking ass. Mariana stopped and looked at the assistants. See you as you're one of my last assistants. I will forego executing you for making my day a lot worse. However, at the next convenient... Mariana stopped. She could hear a faint sound coming from down the hall. She walked further down and heard guards moving with her. She began to recognize it. It was Petspell's cannon being played on a piano. Mariana ran down the hall, finding a sound coming from one of her new recruits' quarters. She opened the door and saw a young man, a woman with green hair, her eyes closed, performing a piece of music. When she finally opened her eyes and saw who was at the door, she gulped and immediately stopped playing and saluted. At ease, recruit. The recruit sat back down. Play something else for me. The recruit blinked, put her hands back down on the piano, and played Bach Sesu, joy immensely desiring. Mariana smiled and closed her eyes, listening intently to the music, and was perfectly played by the young recruit. When she finished, the recruit looked up at Mariana, who was still smiling. Whatever earlier frustrations he had that day were now pacified. That was beautiful, recruit. How would you like to be my personal pianist? Not like that. I'd be honored. Very good. By the way, what is your name, young lady? Canola, Your Highness. Canola Mozart. Right now, I'm just curious. What other Gundam models are going to show up? Okay, think, Legend Breaker. Think. What other Gundam series could possibly have been around this time that would have given Lekara some additional Gundam models to be used?